You did body activation today.
Yes,
and
I'm full activated.
You're fully, no?
I'm fully activated.
Wow. Hello everybody, this is Bastian Lee Jones and we're doing that interview for Rock Radio and Alex TV. So, Alex Berlin, who can I welcome here today?
You can welcome me, Michelle Caddison. It's great to have you here.
Wow, great. You are from New York City, I understand.
I am. I'm a born Manhattan girl. Lived there for many years and then traveled around the world. I've lived in lots of different countries.
Yeah.
And now I'm living in Berlin.
Now you're living in Berlin for 4 years?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
When I first met you, I had the impression, oh, you are very Californian, very West Coast.
Yes, you did say that to me.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
You were, I'm so sorry, but why?
No, actually, I lived in LA for 3 years, many years ago. But before coming to Berlin, I lived in Buenos Aires. So, I don't know, that's south.
Yeah.
And LA is west. Maybe there's...
Buenos Aires. So you're good in tango as well?
I used to be when I danced all the time. Yeah.
That's a very erotic dance, huh?
It's very sensual.
Sensual, no?
It's very beautiful. It's difficult.
Difficult, no?
Challenging. Yeah. Addictive.
Addictive, of
Highly
course.
Addictive, yeah.
How long have you been in Buenos Aires? I think more than a year, huh?
I lived in Buenos Aires for 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
A decade?
I was dancing tango, but as I'm a dancer, as you know, I was teaching there and I was choreographing and I was doing film and TV and doing what I do and loving it.
You told me that you worked for Fellini or with Fellini.
I did. Many years ago, I was living in Italy and actually, prior to that, I knew he was casting for a film, so I wrote him a letter. I was living in LA at the time.
Yeah.
I wrote him a letter and I said, Signor Fellini, I love everything you do. And I sent him pictures of myself, very Fellini-esque style. And 3 months later, I got a letter and said, come to Italia. And I was in a film that he made at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was great working with him.
Great working with him, no?
Yeah, I worked with a lot of very interesting Italians. Yeah. I worked with Lindsay Kemp, who was the mentor to David Bowie, who David also worked with, and worked with him for a while in Italy. And
great.
Yeah.
So very artistic. You're doing music as well. You're doing sequels with animation videos. You have great ideas. So you're a full, whole-time artist.
I've been dancing since I was 3. I've worked always in the performing arts. I'm also a writer, but mostly performing arts. And now I have, the second time, I have a band, which I'm developing here in Berlin. I've developed a beautiful healing fitness technique called body activation, which came from my dance career, from years and years of understanding the body, helping people get back on stage when they were injured. And then I decided that I wanted to create something for everybody. For contemporary culture, we're sitting all day long like this and we get so tight. And this is designed to create space in the body.
Space in the body.
Space inside your body and give you a sense of healing, and that you can heal yourself. You can observe where you're holding stress and release it. And it's a technique that is, it's really beautiful. I have a lot of guys, a lot of women, a lot of men in class, and I'm very proud of that.
So the emphasis is the whole entity of the body, or it's just certain aspects? Because you mentioned, it's the healing aspect in it, it's the stress relieving thing in it, and the physical thing. How physical is the body activation?
It's designed to stretch you and make you more flexible and strengthen you. It's all done on a mat, but you feel like you're dancing. So it gets you into life in the sense that, like, yoga is a very still kind of work. This gets you into moving in the world in a way that's super healthy, so that you start to notice your body more. And then, as we know, body, mind, spirit, everything's connected.
Very true.
So it activates the brain. We start to feel more our feeling body, quiet down the mental body, develop the spirit, develop our higher potential. It's very integrated. And also I do a meditation at the end, so you kind of seal in the work that you've done prior to that, and it's very powerful. And I'm a New York girl, so I'm not like, saying, oh, lovely, sweet things. I'm like, okay, it's a little...
To the point and do it.
I have expectations, baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But no Aufnahmeprüfung. You have no castings for people who apply to get into your courses. No.
Everybody can come. It's very loving.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's very serious. And I think I bring a lot of my New York training in there. Yeah.
And for what kind of people is this body activation thing? Also for older people as well? I mean, is there any limit of age?
Not really.
No.
I mean, the classes are really tailored for people who want to be fit. And I have a lot of corporate people who are sitting behind desks all day long and feeling very constricted. I also do a chair class in offices so people can actually exercise at their desks. When I do teach for elderly people, it is a specific class for them, just as I give a class for pregnant women. Or I give a class, I do a lot of private classes. If you come to me and say, oh, I have an injury in my shoulder, the class will be tailored for that. My group classes here in Berlin or the corporate classes are for everybody. But not so much super old people or people who are pregnant or have injuries. It's more for just the general public who wants to feel better about themselves, have a different kind of technique, because body activation is very different from yoga and Pilates. It comes from a dancer. So when you come from a dancer, the work comes from a dancer. It's a different approach.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's called really the technique for contemporary culture.
For contemporary culture even.
Because it's designed to deal with the problems we have today, our neck, smartphones, the lower back, the hips being so tight. I have many, many students in their 20s, and you would think they were in their 80s.
Really?
They can't move their bodies, they have no juice. So this gives you a juicy feeling about your body, makes you feel more multidimensional when you're moving, rather than like Frankenstein.
Where did you get your inspiration to, I mean, that's the whole concept. And nobody is an island. I mean, I think you might be inspired a bit by New Age or by meditation from the Far East, from India maybe, or... Not so much.
No,
really.
I had a really powerful dynamic jazz class that I taught for many, many, many years. In New York City, in LA, traveling all over the world, international classes. And my warm-up was very, very demanding, but it was also very healing. When I moved to Argentina, I was asked to coach actors and actresses for their roles in films. So I started to work with people who were non-dancers. And they would say, God, I feel so good. I can move, I understand my body, all sorts of things were happening, and that was the inspiration, was to take a very powerful, dynamic, difficult class. My class was known as the most difficult class in New York City for quite a while. I used to teach at a studio called Steps, a very wonderful studio, and I took this warm-up and I slowed it down.
Okay,
And I made it accessible, and I got quiet, because I used to be very and I got more quiet and more loving and less and the students really responded, and my students are very devoted, and everyone who comes to my class, even for the first time, you feel the effect of the work immediately.
I see. And what kind of is there music played?
I have a woman who's a great DJ, and she's a composer. Her name is Natalia Lincoln, who is composing original music for me now.
So, what's your name?
Natalia Lincoln.
Yeah, Natalia Lincoln. You had done this whole course and session today. How do you feel now?
I feel amazing.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, it just always opens me up. I remember the first few times I did it, I was just sore as hell. And
really? When did you start here?
Oh my God. It had to be 2015, and then I had a little break.
2015, 2 years?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, really.
Could be longer, but in any case,
But in the meantime, I use different things. Chill out, world music. interesting music, but it's in the background.
Yeah.
In the foreground, you have my voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm very hands-on. I will never let you get away with any mistake in alignment. So your body learns to reform itself in a healthier way. So the music is there to just get you out of the high mental place where you're thinking all the time and get you more in the body.
In the body.
Embodied in the body.
Yeah. Where is the center of the body? It depends. I'm really curious.
Question.
Yeah. Where
Well,
does the energy comes from?
The energy comes from the solar plexus. But there's another center, which is here, the pituitary gland, which connects you to your higher wisdom. So we're dealing with all of these different centers.
Yeah.
And the way I work the body is that three things. The spiral, it's never linear movement.
Yeah.
It's more like a plant. You're always open and growing, moving, even if it looks like you're still. I work with gravity, so you're never forcing a movement. You're allowing. Let's see where I am today. And then you speak to your body and you say, soften and release. And then the muscles start to release, the tension releases, and all of a sudden you're touching your toes because you get out of your own way.
Really,
And the third thing is we never think about the spine. We think about the front of the body. So if my abdominal muscles are strong, my rib cage is in, my chest is lifted, automatically it corrects my spine. So we get the thought process in a different placement so that we're not so fixated on things that can often make us tense instead of do the opposite.
Yeah.
There's a lot of thought behind the technique.
So for people who are sitting in front of their computers day in, day out, even nighttime, and they're sitting like that.
Yeah.
You know, shoulder over,
Yes.
bent over.
Yeah.
Any hacks just to correct them?
In a few words?
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're sitting like this, all you have to do is move to the edge of your seat and arch your lower back. Imagine you have a hook under your chest and connect the hook with the lower back. And then you're typing.
Yeah.
The back of your head is right over the sit bones and the body starts to what? Create more space.
More space, yeah, indeed.
You lift, arch the lower back, back of the head goes back so that you have now a full channel of blood and oxygen going up the spinal column, activating the brain. So you have more energy to think and create and do, activating the body and getting less tired, getting out of the hips so we get longer and we get more vibrant.
Vibrant, no? And I mean, to stay focused with the good stance, yeah? I mean, that's a question of awareness. I mean, there's this Alexander technique, and he was talking about inhibition, to inhibit. How did you make your students that they have the awareness to correct themselves in their habit,
repetition?
Repetition.
You have to come to class. It's a practice.
Yeah.
It's like learning a language. You first of all, the body wants to be happy. The body wants to be comfortable. It's not happy like this.
Yeah.
So the minute you send it messages saying, you can be happy, you don't have to be in a crunched position. This is the way. The body says, thank you.
Yeah.
And the body wants to do the work because it's attracted to something that gives it pleasure, right? We are attracted to what gives us pleasure. And then the more you do it, the more you realize that when you don't do it, you feel uncomfortable. And then you develop the habit, and then you develop the ability to self-correct.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you notice, why am I holding my shoulder up like this when I'm just talking to you? I don't need my shoulder.
Yeah.
And you become much more aware. And it doesn't mean you're distracted by your body. It means you become integrated. Conscious of all things. Oh, my mind is going a mile a minute. I'm going to drop my mind down now. And I have a lot of specific tools to help the mind stop going on and on, to drop the heart into a velvet pocket right here. So we're not hoping for something. We're just landed.
Wonderful.
So we become more comfortable. So it's not just physical, though it is very physical, the work in body activation, but it's also engaging, activating other processes so that we become completely integrated.
Wow. And you are in Berlin in the moment, so your courses take place here.
I do travel everywhere. However, yes, I teach corporate classes here. I go to different corporations or offices and teach. I teach private classes, and I teach out of a beautiful studio called Studio Pulse on Merkenstrasse 111, and I teach on Monday and Thursday evenings at 8 o'clock. So it's after work.
Yeah.
Everybody has a chance to
Super.
and then come to class and end their evening in a really beautiful way.
Wow.
It's an hour and 15 minutes.
And do you have Facebook or a homepage?
I do.
Yeah.
I am in the modern world. Facebook is Body Activation. And I have a website, which is www.bodyactivation.net.
Yeah.
I'm also on Instagram and...
Yeah. And Body Activation with a hyphen?
No. It's
One
Body
word.
Activation, 2 words, by Michelle Caddison.
Okay.
So that everybody knows I created it.
So you can book then via Facebook or via your homepage or give you a call.
Yeah, basically people book classes with me, privates or corporate classes or retreats via my website. There's a place where you can contact me. And then for classes, the group classes, you just show up.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask me.
Really?
Just come. Yeah. And check into the Facebook page all the time, because sometimes the schedule may change, or there might be an addition, or there might be, for example, a workshop. I'm doing a workshop coming up in November. So I have announcements. I also have tips on how to keep the body healthy. I have a second Facebook page called The Body in Form, and that gives you nutritional tips so
Great.
that you can eat well, think well, be well, live well, create well.
So a whole lifestyle package for a better life.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And that's the mission, and that's the value in it. No? There's lots of value for personal development.
For me, it's the only way we're going to change the world. It's one person at a time, ourselves. And if I can contribute to that, then I'm a happy person.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What are your favorite musicians or favorite singer-songwriters? Do you have anyone in mind now?
Didn't prepare me for this question.
Come on.
Well, right now I'm listening to deep Southern blues, Muddy Waters.
Oh, really?
Lightning Hopkins.
Okay.
I'm listening to, really the blues greats, B.B. King. I love Tracy Nelson. A lot of people don't know who she is.
No,
she was an amazing country singer way back in the day. Ella Fitzgerald, all the classics.
And contemporary artists like Lady Gaga.
Hate Lady Gaga.
You hate her.
All that commercial stuff does not sit well with me. No, I like alternative music.
Katie Melua.
Yeah, I'm always looking for things that are, Spotify is my best friend right now.
Oh,
so
really?
I'm always looking for stuff.
Yeah.
But right now I'm more into more of a retro mood, kind of. I'm exploring blues roots at the moment. Yeah.
And I know that you're planning thrilling projects here in Berlin. Would you tell us something about those?
I'm actually working on a project with a very charming, adorable, intelligent, sparkling, interesting human being whom I'm sitting next to right now.
Oh, really? It's me who you meet.
You.
Oh, my goodness. I'm blushing.
Bastian will tell you as well, but we're planning on and working on right now and formulating a show called What If? And it's going to be a YouTube channel for now. And it's basically to get people to see what others are thinking via provocative questions that help to make you think about a subject, very simple questions that you have to answer in 2 sentences or less. What if? And our proposal is really something that is without prejudice. We don't have any judgment around what the questions or the answers, but we want to know what different people are thinking and then how that matches with others or doesn't. And getting people to just think about life in a different way, instead of always sitting on the same side of the table, moving to the other side of the table, stretching their minds, stretching their thoughts.
Very true. And so we are installing a YouTube channel for you and getting out into town and interviewing different, very different people in different areas here in Berlin, from different milieus, and who have different jobs, or maybe no job, or maybe homeless people, or maybe refugees, anyone who...
Human beings. We're interested in you humans, and us humans, and what we have to say about the world, and how when offered a question that might be perplexing, we can find a quick answer that really reflects our inner nature, to show how we think. Yeah. And then our followers on YouTube will also have a chance to interact with the program and comment, and we want it to be a very interactive, open forum for people to share perspectives on life. Yeah. And the second thing we will definitely do is having a Facebook page for What If, Facebook page and a YouTube channel. But we'll keep you informed about this wonderful project. And we're looking very forward to start. Maybe we start in 2 or 3 weeks. This could be some kind of deadline, because I heard from some of my coaches who always advised me, go public, have a deadline, then you take it really serious. And I think we do it like this. So I think we're taking this pretty seriously.
Anyway,
yeah, we will.
Good.
Yeah.
What do you think? Okay, any association with the word fame? And think of New York and dancing.
David Bowie.
David Bowie? Oh yeah,
the
great.
Song.
Yeah, the song.
Fame.
Ah, okay. We'll play that later on. But I thought of New York City, and one of the main protagonists' name was Leroy, I think.
Leroy.
It was a TV series, very famous.
I don't know.
Fame.
Oh, Fame! I want to live forever. Yeah, I auditioned for Fame, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Oh.
Yeah, I was really upset.
Oh,
yeah.
really,
Irene Cara was the lead, and Debbie. She's an amazing choreographer. Debbie, I forget her name. She was the choreographer. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Fame in New York is, I'm an '80s girl. I guess that was when I was there. I was choreographing for all the clubs there, and I just think about Andy Warhol and 15 Minutes of Fame, and John and Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring and all these people, and Patti Smith and Robert Mapplethorpe, who were just creating at the time, creating the New York Dolls, for whom I sang backup for a while. And nobody was thinking about fame like everybody thinks about today. Everybody wants fame. Yeah. But back then, people were just doing their thing. You know, Patti was writing poetry. Robert was taking pictures. Keith Haring was writing on subway walls. Basquiat was doing crazy things and beautiful things. And the only one who was thinking of fame was Andy Warhol. Yeah. But nobody was thinking, I want to be famous. They were thinking of, I want to make art. Yeah. And for me, it was such an organic, beautiful time in the city, because we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have, and I love it all, but having come from that and growing up around these artists who are pivotal and seminal artists and who are references for us today in such a powerful way, the idea of fame, it was more of a little bit of a joke, you know, like you'd go down to Save the Robots after hours, you know, and push open that door you could never see on Avenue B or C or wherever it was. And there was Grace Jones dancing with David Bowie, dancing with, you know, and everybody was there. We were all there together. Or Max's Kansas City, and, you know, super rock stars would come, but you didn't think about it. You just sat down and ate those chickpeas that were always on the table, and, you know, it was just a scene. It wasn't about showing up and being somebody. You earned it.
You earned it, no?
You earned it.
I think in that time there was an artist coming over to New York from Bavaria. I think he was from Nuremberg or Erlangen, whose name was... Okay, whose name was? Now you can guess.
Audience, guess this name. You too might win a ticket, round trip.
Yeah, true, very true. He paid all the artists he needed, the people who made his costumes, his stage costumes. He paid them with cakes. He baked cakes.
Wow.
And he was one of the first HIV victims who passed away, and who had a very, very high voice, and who inspired Lady Gaga, who you don't like that much.
Except that I don't like her as a person.
The person, no?
It's just the music.
Yeah.
You know.
But the one I am referring to is the one and only Klaus Nomi. And now
Klaus Nomi, of course. Did he bake cakes for people?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
I've seen a documentary on
That's
YouTube.
too bizarre.
I sent you the link.
Please.
Michelle Caddison, thanks a lot for this
My
great
pleasure.
interview. I'm looking very forward to our great
Me too.
project. What
Me
if?
too.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Wonderful. See? That's teamwork. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks a lot.